I'm setting up a long-term time lapse of the popcorn field. So I'm setting up a long-term time lapse to watch the popcorn grow this year. I've tried this many times. Every single year I try it, and every single year I've failed. So this is my redemption year. So I've gathered all this stuff on the back of my pickup truck, which is where I do a lot of things. And right here you can see I've got two different GoPros. I'm only going to use one for this particular example, or this particular project, and you can see it just started up right there. It's going to take a photo here, and it just did. And it's going to repeat that while it's on a pole in the popcorn field. And I bought a 10.5-foot tall pole, drove it in the ground about 18 inches. So I guess we've got about 9 foot of height. And I'll mount it with this and have it just like look out on the popcorn as it grows. And it hasn't emerged yet, but what we need to do is keep it constantly powered. So I went to Harbor Freight and bought one of these weather tight, small little storage containers. I've got a deep cycle battery charged up, and I've got that on a quick connect, actually right down there, tightly affixed, and then on a quick connect into a voltage converter. So this is 12 volts. But the GoPros are 5 volt, and we need to keep those powered at that. So currently you could see, or may not be able to see depending on the angle, that that's about 3.92 volts, which is fine. This battery needs to be charged a little bit more. I've got an identical one on the charger, and this way I can just go to it, open this up, swap that out, and no big deal. Punched a hole through here, which I will fill with silicone, and all I did is use a spade drill bit. And incidentally, in case you want to know, in my particular case, 5/8 worked really well. I was able to pass the head of the USB out or through it so I could connect to everything. So we'll get this mounted on the pole and see how it works. I should also mention that since this USB connects to the camera, what I could do also is disconnect this, attach it to a laptop that I brought, and then transfer all the files. So that way I'd be able to securely keep whatever is captured to that particular point in case something happens, lightning strike or any other crazy thing. Maybe someone steals the GoPro, hopefully not. But I should also mention that I'm using GoPro Labs software on this, and it's pretty cool. You just go to their website, download a zip file, extract it, and put it onto the actual SIM card inside of the GoPro. Fire it up, and then it installs the new firmware. And in that, there's a feature that allows long-term time lapse. They call it the construction. So you just set the start time and the end time and how many images you want taken throughout the day, and it spaces them out. I've got it starting at 5:40 a.m. and finishing at 9 p.m. at night, and then that way it'll take about 300 images, and I figure I'll get one, I think that's every 2 minutes. But it turns the camera on, takes the photo, and turns it off, and it conserves power that way. Okay, so if we get an idea, we could go multiple different ways. I like that, right in line with the row. Let me just get this adjusted then. Now, let's get everything set up, Brucey. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Let's get that right like that. Should be set. Okay, that should be set. Let's get some silicone going. Da, 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 da. Now I'm applying some silicone all over the latch and USB. Doesn't take much, but then again, it doesn't take much water to get in there. And I'm just being obscene. The last thing I want is for this to get ruined by a little bit of water. Yeah, so clearly I was fighting the wind that day, but here is a shot of the side of the GoPro all gooped up with silicone. Here's a shot of the mounting that I used. It just wrapped around the pole and tightened up. And then this is kind of the vantage point from above the GoPro. And remember, Princeton Popcorn is run by a first-generation farmer. We're seed to store, one farmer, one field. So everybody loves popcorn, and I'm proud to be your popcorn farmer.